Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, etc., etc. Welcome to episode number 27 now of the Coders Startup Podcast. I, as always, am your host, Trevor Page. I'm joined by the right-hand man, Carter the Marketer Johnson. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Good. I love that you brought the nickname back. You stuck with it, I think, 2 or 3 episodes now.
That's good.
That's fun stuff.
I like to be consistent. I haven't been consistent, so this is me bringing the sexy back. So so this is, yeah, like I said, number 27, and I think what we're going to be talking about today is a good sort of debate that Carter and I are sort of on opposite sides of the fence with this debate. So I figured it'd be perfect for the show. We'll see if we can convert each other to the other side of the fence. The topic will be to lifestyle business or not to lifestyle business. That is the question. So basically, if you don't know what a lifestyle business is, basically, if you're an MBA or something, you're probably already cringing at the thought of a lifestyle business, because I think that's generally what MBAs tend to have it beaten out of them. Carter's doing a fist pump right now. You can't see that. For those of you who don't know what a lifestyle business is, there's no real hard and fast definition for what a lifestyle business is, but it's essentially a business that you run that caters to your lifestyle, and that's sort of it. I don't think there's really that's really the ceiling. So really, I don't know if you can put hard numbers or metrics to it, but maybe it's somewhere around 2 to 10 times your annual salary that you currently make, and that's sort of what you're going to make inside of the business in terms of revenue. So it's it's still great. It's great for you and your family and maybe your extended family. But then that's sort of the ceiling that you'll achieve. That's as high as you're going to reach, maybe a bit further. Your goal is not. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, because I think, would you say that lifestyle business really came to like mainstream with the Tim Ferriss movement? Because I feel like when I hear us, like immediately when we start talking about this, I'm like, Tim Ferriss, 4-hour work week, basically just outmake your expenses and put it on passive and you're good to go.
Yeah, so
I interrupted.
That's good. That's good insight. So yes, I would agree with that. It sort of came, he made it become popular. And for those of you also wondering, I was bad. I have a whole bunch of food allergies, and I, drank some beer and ate some pizza that I shouldn't have. So now I'm clearly paying the price for it. So I'm going to be coughing a little bit. Apologize for that. I'll try not to drink beer for you guys in the future. Yeah, right.
There you go.
Anyway, so lifestyle business, I really think, like I said, it's sort of a ceiling that is put onto it. But I think the better way to look at it, it's, in a lifestyle business, profit is important, but profit is not the almighty, right? At some point, profit sort of takes a backseat to, in my opinion, happiness, the happiness of the person running the business. So I think that's sort of a good little definition of what I can bring for lifestyle business. You've given a little bit, Carter, with respect to the Tim Ferriss movement and everything. Is there anything else that you'd sort of put on top of there in terms of definition of what a lifestyle business is?
A lot of times I just hear people totally refer to, the passive income, like getting to that point where basically your passive income exceeds your expenses, so you're always going to be able to live a certain lifestyle without having to worry about your income, which sounds great. A lot of people point to Robert Kiyosaki and the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad and using real estate to develop that lifestyle business. I have a roommate who's obsessed with that, and I'll point out something as we get going about that. But yeah, man, I'm super excited because I feel like on most episodes we're always like totally in agreement, or maybe we have a few differing thoughts there, but I know this is one that like we both like have a hard stance on both sides, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we've never really been polar opposites before, so yeah, this is good. So we'll have some friendly debate. So and then basically what you guys will get from listening or watching this, you can sort of align yourselves on either side of the fence. And I mean, it doesn't, there's no real maybe there's black and white here, but anyway, just you'll get an idea.
It's one of those things you can always change too. You know what I mean?
Course.
It's not like you're like, I declare.
That's right.
Lifestyle business, and then you're 10 years down the road, you're like, man, I wish I had gone the other route. No, it's totally up to you. You can
So I think I'll kick things off in my pursuit of a lifestyle business, and I really think the biggest point, if I'm to start with my strongest point, which usually they say in the English class that I've learned, you're supposed to end with it, but I'm just going to start with it because I was always bad in English and writing essays. My number one thing is happiness. The pursuit of happiness, if you will, not to do any copyright infringements on the movie. But the pursuit of happiness for me is number one. And to me, that's what lifestyle business is all about. If I can hit a point where like you said, my revenue, my salary exceeds my expenses on a recurring and predictable basis in such a way that I won't have to ever work for someone else again, to me, that is the gold standard of being able to live a lifestyle that will forever bring you the ability to be happy. Okay, money doesn't bring you happiness, and that I think is the second point in my pitch here about why lifestyle business should be your pursuit. Is that money doesn't bring happiness. So the endless pursuit of profit is not only harmful, I believe, to yourself as an individual, but also potentially to others. And I'm being an extremist in this case. I'm going to be pointing fingers at companies that have this pursuit of profit above all other things. These big corporations who, dump, nuclear waste into our water streams and everything like that.
You are going to
pay the fines that it is to, reform their processes to not dump or create the waste in the first place. That's obviously an extreme side of that equation, but I think there's a happy medium there, a balance where it's like, well, when you make the pursuit of profit and money your sole purpose, eventually I think that's just going to take away from you, and I think eventually a person will eventually grow out of that. Okay, I really do feel that eventually, once you've had that, I think you will grow out of that. Unless I think there's something, and I'm being real hard here. I'm not attacking Carter personally. I'm not attacking anyone personally, but I think that people who have this undying pursuit of profit and profit only, I think that I think it's a bit of an illness. I think there's some indication of hoarding there, right? When you see someone hoarding, belongings or something like that, you go into someone's house and there's newspapers everywhere, and this and I could say this from secondhand experience because my fiance is a social worker and she's been in these houses of these people who have a hoarding problem. You point fingers at those people, you say that person has a problem, but someone who hoards money isn't necessarily looked at in the same light. But I really think that there is a problem there when someone endlessly pursues that sort of profit. I just think there's something wrong with that. Anyway, I don't want to be the person who's always attacking the other. So I think bringing it back to my points of happiness. For me, it's all about happiness. For me, if I have the business that allows me to do whatever I want to do, if you could wake up in the morning and say, what do I want to do today? And actually be able to do that, whether it's go out and play golf, whether it's hang out with your family, whether it's traveling the world and, enriching your life with new social experiences, or what have you. To me, that's this dream scenario that such a small percentage of people can actually achieve. And it's completely possible through a lifestyle business because, like Carter mentioned, it's mostly the pursuit of passive income. So for me right now in my business, I probably only have to put in about 4 hours of work a week, truly, to be able to keep it going as it is right now. Of course, I'm not. I want to build up my revenue stream a bit more because right now I'm not pulling in the 2 to 10 times my old salary when I was a programmer. Right? I'm really hitting the 1 times point right now. So I still want to go and kick it in the gear and do the hard work so that it'll pay off later. But eventually, that later will come. And I'll be able to, quote unquote, take mini retirements with my significant other, start a family and be comfortable in being able to stay at home and raise my own children. And, to me, that is happiness. That is something that is very fulfilling as a human being. And to me, that is the perfect point to shoot for. In the target that I want to aim at. Like, where do you need to aim? To me, that's the perfect place to aim, is lifestyle business. So now I'll stop and I'll fire it over to Carter. You can make counterpoints to my points if you like, or you can.
Yeah. So I was going to say, you think I should I'm trying to decide, should I lead off with my rebuttal or my case for the other side
Let's
first?
start with the rebuttal. Isn't that
Yeah,
how they
let's
do
do
it
the
in like court
rebuttal.
style?
Let's
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
do rebuttal. Yeah.
And just a forewarning, I took notes. I jotted notes while you were
I
talking.
saw, for those of you who can't see
I
this,
was,
Carter was like furiously writing. So I was getting a little bit scared the more I talked.
no, don't get scared. Well, first off, I totally agree with you. I think it's all about finding that level of happiness. And I think that, for every individual, that's completely unique. Um, I I would start off by arguing first that, really, when you look at people that seem and appear to be profit maximizers, profit driven, totally like that, I think usually they're on a march of a bigger scale. And what I mean by that, look at Tony Hsieh of Zappos. He wrote the book Delivering Happiness. If you read his story, and this is a CEO who goes in, every day to work. He is in the trenches with his team and all. And he made, it was something like, he sold his first company, $250 million. Could have lived a passive lifestyle business, bought a few investments, sat on a beach for the rest of his life. But what he figured out, not just with that $250 million company, but, with the money and everything else, that did not fulfill the level of happiness that he was looking for. Exactly to your point, Trevor, what he was saying. So, he did all this soul searching, and he figured out being a part of team, moving humanity forward, working on something grand and great, that was to him the happiness factor. That was like exactly like when you describe raising a family, staying at home, never having to worry about it. So I think a lot of times on the outside, people who are looking in to these people like, Steve Jobs, or you can use Tony Hsieh as an example, who seem like workaholics, who seem like they are tied to their business. I think because it's a deeper level of knowing that their happiness is attached to actually almost changing the world, as corny as that sounds. And so that's one thing that, I really think that it's tough to get out of a lifestyle business, that level of contribution. I think you, Trevor, are in a wonderful outlier position in the sense that you sell a product that helps people, free them from the chains of their job, like learning how to code. It opens up so many different opportunities for people, or it frees them from other things. And that's such a unique opportunity, because a lot of times you hear passive or lifestyle business, and it's people who are doing, drop shipping that they've scaled up to a certain level, which, who am I to say what does and doesn't affect people in a correct manner. But it's interesting too, because you look at the people who actually created the lifestyle business. And I jotted down, Tim Ferriss, Robert Kiyosaki. Both of these individuals they're not living a lifestyle business, which is what I think is hilarious. Like,
it's true. They're constantly probably on tour. They're promoting.
They're working more hours in the week. Keep going.
Is just a quick? This is the nitpicky part of me. Is it Kawasaki or Kiyosaki?
I don't know. I'm from
we don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
of, United States, so
But very, very good point. They're clearly not living the lifestyle business, because they're always busy as heck. Tim Ferriss, there's no way he lives a 4-hour work week.
No, not at all. And if you know how he got that title, he did split testing in terms of ads.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Kiyosaki, he's supposed to be this guru in terms of real estate and developing this passive lifestyle through real estate, which his material is awesome, education fantastic. But if you look at his entire fortune, and few people know this, you look at his entire fortune, most of it was created through his educational materials, through his seminars, through his entire business. And by no means was that passive lifestyle that he was selling. But to the point that I'm trying to make, I think Tim Ferriss and Robert Kiyosaki have made amazing contributions to the world, in the sense that they have freed up and showed other people what is possible if they do want that passive lifestyle, if they do want that, no worries about finance. I can travel when I want to. I can live where I want to. I can stay at home with my kids if that's what I want. But just to my point, and why I'm So on the other side is I don't think that you can really build greatness through a passive lifestyle type business. I don't think, I think, like I said, Trevor, I think you are in a true outlier in the sense that your product, you have gotten your business to a level where, like you said, 4 hours a week, that's amazing. And on top of that, I mean, you get emails day after day talking about, people thanking you and just like so overwhelmed with how much that you contributed to them. So that for me, it's tough to, when people ask, what my goals are and stuff, I've never connected with lifestyle. I've never wanted to get rich and retire and, live on a beach. Like I joke when I show people like blueprints of the yacht that I dream of, like, this is my office. This is my battle station where I can still get stuff done while entertaining family and friends and all. I mean, to me, that is happiness. That, like, looking back on a lifetime, and if I get to the level where I could build something at a level like Tony Hsieh or Tim Ferriss or someone like that has, that to me, like, and the chase and pursuit of that's total happiness. Yeah, so I think I hit all my points. I don't even know if I made sense. I kind of rambled.
No, that's good. That's good. An excellent rebuttal. Do you have, do you want to follow up with that with your regular, 1, 2, 3 points of why you yourself, Carter, want to live this, pursuit of a non-lifestyle business then?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. So, I think number one, which is what I basically already hit on. It's like the pursuit of greatness. And for me, that's what makes me happy. It's like some crazy people go to the gym and they love like working out in the gym. And that for them is like what makes them happy. And I look at those people and I'm like, you're crazy. Like, I hate going to the gym. But for me, it's the day in, day out grind that you're just moving the ball forward. You're creating something bigger than yourself. That's like what it's all about. And that to me is, worth more than any amount of vacation or money could buy. So that's my first point. I've never really looked at a business that I wanted just to subsidize my income so I could, live as I want. I'm trying to think of the other points that I would really. Well, let's just you go.
Okay.
We'll keep talking.
Okay, so from what I've heard from what you've been saying is that the pursuit of happiness is also at the forefront of your work, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily. It's tough because I don't equate a CEO running a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company. I don't align them with that same mindset. I don't think a CEO of those kinds of companies are happy. I think that their entire life is devoted to work, and it has to be devoted to work because they feel like the whole thing would crumble if they weren't there 24/7. And to me, I picture the person who, has been through 5 marriages. Like, what's the guy's
Elon
name who
Musk.
owns all the Boston pizzas? He's on
Oh, I
Dragon.
don't know. I was going to say Elon Musk.
No. Or Elon Musk. I mean, that's, he's been through 2 marriages, right? Or he's on his second marriage?
I don't know, 2 or 3, I think.
2 or 3. In any case, these are people who I think they have a mission.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. This is where the lines get crossed between, lifestyle, non-lifestyle type businesses. I believe in a mission. I believe in you having a mission and working towards that mission. For me right now, my mission is to create great programmers because there is such a shortage of great programmers in the world. And that is seen by the amount of demand for good programmers all across the industry. There's entire companies that are essentially funding themselves off finding programmers to get hired at other places, the agencies and whatnot, the hiring, or what do they call them? Doesn't matter, whatever.
Hiring agencies?
I guess hiring agency.
Yeah.
So there's a business that was created out of this need of needing more programmers. So my mission is to get out there, take someone who's maybe tried to program before but failed because their information they had was not good enough. It wasn't, more fun or something, and fun enough to get them to keep going, or it was too confusing or what have you. I want to break through all those barriers and make it fun, make it understandable, make it relatable, break it down, and have them succeed at it and say, oh my God, I did it. Now let me try something more difficult. So that's my real mission. And that's great. And I think, people like Elon Musk, his mission is to literally go to Mars. He has a mission to change the entire world. I respect the heck out of that. That's incredible. But I believe that at some point there's a sacrifice that's made between the pursuit of the mission and the pursuit of the happiness. So I think you can pursue a mission thinking that you are pursuing something that's making you happy, but inevitably, I don't think you're truly happy if you're going through 5 wives. I think that's a symptom of an underlying problem. Something's wrong, and I think maybe it might mean that you're not happy. Now, maybe your first wife, maybe you got into some sort of strange situation where, she was your, this is going to sound horrible, your high school sweetheart, and this is all you've ever known, and so Carter's just laughing his butt.
I'm just laughing.
You've been in this situation for so long, and you've been with her, and now you feel obligated to marry her, and then you do, and then things don't work out, and you break up, and the marriage is over, and then you get your second wife. Okay, maybe I could throw that. You could throw that at me as being a legitimate, pursuit of happiness and truly being happy, because now you found your actual true love that you can connect with now, because you're a different human being, and so on and so forth. But I think after you hit more than 2 wives, I think there's a problem there. I think that's the metric, that's the ceiling. No more than 2 wives. Anyway, and I just see that as a recurring theme, right? There's a recurring theme there, you have, your children that don't like you anymore, or children that bond more with a maid than they do you as a father figure or a mother figure. Those are signs of something being wrong. And I think that the underlying symptom there is that people devote their life to their work. And there has to be balance, not perfect balance, but there has to be enough balance in such a way that your all the balls that you have in the air, you can keep them in the air. So I remember hearing this analogy with someone saying, it's like life is like juggling 5 balls in the air. It's the work ball, the life, work, family, fitness, so being healthy, spirituality, and something else, I forget. And all of the balls are made of glass, except for the work ball. That one's made of rubber. Mm-hmm. So if you drop any of the other 4, your family, your health, your spirituality, or whatever that 4th one is, that's going to bother me, because I'm sure it's something big, because obviously it's, your entire life can be summed up in these 5 things, and I'm forgetting one of them. What does that say? Anyway, but the work one, if you drop it, it'll just bounce right back. Work is the one thing that you can drop and get it back. If you get fired, you can get another job. If your business fails, you can start another one. If you blah, 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 you get the idea. But if your home life falls apart, it's much more difficult to bring back to life. So I just think that, using these people as an example of maybe going too far, these people being, like I said, the guy, what's his name, who owns Boston Pizza, and Mr. Lube. You probably don't know him because he's Canadian. So isn't that terrible? Anyway, if you watch Dragon's Den, do you know what Dragon's Den is? Or is that...
Oh, yeah. It's like we have Shark Tank.
You guys have Shark Tank, which now I think is better, but that's getting off topic. I like Dragon's Den more than Shark Tank. Now I've done the flip.
Side note, let's do a show and talk about all the different shows and books and stuff we tune into. I think that would be a ton of fun for
I thought you said differences between Canada and the U.S. That's where I thought you were going. So, but that could be a whole show too, but that wouldn't really be of benefit to anyone other than, I don't know, Canadians. So, to sum up, I'm just, there's a point at which you can go too far when it comes to pursuing your mission, in the thought that it's in the pursuit of your own happiness. Because when your happiness is to pursue your mission and that's it, if your happiness is solely tied to your pursuit of your mission, I think that's a problem. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, is that how you feel right now? Like, could you drop everything else just to pursue your mission and still be happy?
No, because I completely agree with you in that sense.
Okay.
there is a fine line, and by no means do I think anyone should sacrifice family, friends, love, health, for the pursuit of wealth or what their mission is in life. Um, with that being said, I think, like going back to like what you were saying about creating amazing programmers in the world, and that is your mission. Um, and that is so awesome. First off, that you define that, you know what I mean? Like so few people have been able to actually define their mission. But again, I think you're in a unique stance where you can do that with 4 hours of work per week. And so many people start these lifestyle businesses. And I think, I'm gonna hit on a couple points.
Well, hold on. I'm going to stop you there. Hold on.
Okay.
Before we get too far, that's 4 hours of work now. That was,
right.
180 hours of work a day previously. Anyway, just wanted to say that.
It used to be a ton of fun. Trevor and I, a few years ago, we would like calculate how many hours we worked, how much money we made, and we're like, God, I'm making $2.25 an hour.
Mine was like 5 cents an hour or something. It was something horrible, or 25 cents an hour. So yeah, you really have to hustle.
Anyway. That's part of it. But I think to your point about life, falling apart and everything else, being on 4 or 5 lives, I think that doesn't just happen with the ultra driven. I think Elon Musk, the pizza guy, are extreme examples. But you could argue that just as many divorces and everything else are caused by people who have come across wealth and don't really have a bigger purpose to their life. Now they're bored. Now they're sitting, on a beach, or they're turning to substances to fill the days. And I know, and it's where I guess I am on a social level, but I know a lot more examples of that than I do to the contrary, of someone who had a mission, who stuck to that, who kind of, created that balance, juggled those balls, as you were talking about. The other point I want to hit on, and maybe, I think it comes down to, like, at our core, because we are so biased, we look for the evidence that we want. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because like when you were saying that about, trying to think of the name of the guy, the CEO, like I was thinking all the people that I've studied and, want to replicate my life around in a similar fashion, like Sam Walton. A lot of people, can argue that he's evil because he put a lot of small business out of work and all.
Who is he, for the record?
Sam Walton, founder of Walmart. Yeah, he would have been the richest man ever, but because from an early age, he set up his business structure to where each kid, and I think he had like 5, 6 kids or something, each kid basically took on a portion of the business. It was like a family trust, so there was no inheritance or anything. Otherwise, he would have been worth, it's like 120 billion. But going back to what I want to get at, this is a guy who he loved flying. Like he would take his kids flying when they would search for new Walmart locations. Like the business was a family owned and operated business. His like friends and family, like they would have picnics on his actual home, and like he was always so fulfilled on that side. And I would suggest reading his book. It's Sam Walton. I forget what it's called, but just look it up, because it really details how someone could reach that level and build that empire. And yet I found him, like reading in between the lines, I found he was more fulfilled by the day in, day out interaction he had with his family and friends than any amount of wealth. And that could have just been his type of nature. But then you look at other people, and I have written down here Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Mark Cuban, all who are very, I agree with you. They're total probably workaholics, but Warren Buffett brags about tap dancing to work. And if you read like The Snowball Effect, which is all about, I think it was written by his daughter, it talks about like he literally takes his family with him when they're going to these conferences and stuff, and they get to go on these vacations while he's doing these speeches and all this other stuff. And the guy still probably works 80 hours a week, but he still has that family life. And I mean, he's as healthy as can be, as far as I know. Mark Cuban is another example. Like, he's got 2 kids now. I think he married the girl from high school or something. Never been divorced. Another great example. Tony Robbins, I think he's been divorced once, but his kids are both really active in his business. Richard Branson, like the guy's, has over 350 conglomerate businesses running an absolute empire. And if you read though about what he talks about, the most important thing when he is with his family, he has actually trained his team when they're at their getaway in South Africa. It's like a safari area. He has trained their team that those days check-ins only last 15 minutes. And he said it was for his team, it was the most difficult thing at first, but once he set those expectations and those boundaries, which goes back to what you're saying, he could live and juggle both. So I don't think I do agree with you. There's a lot of people who get lost in their mission and they let their health go, they let the relationships that matter go. But I think for me, I can point to a lot more examples of people who have lived a fulfilled life and actually been able to multiply that and help, bring in all those other important factors to further their mission. Yeah, so that's
very good. Very good. I'm very impressed with your rebuttals. You probably were part of the debate team in high school or something like that.
I was not. Actually, the debate teacher hated me. I was in one of his classes. Mr. Rocca. I'm sorry, Mr. Rocca. I misbehaved so much in high school.
Well, there you go. Look at Carter now shining with the skills of debating. Debation, is that a word? Anyway,
Debation.
We don't want to go there. So the book that you mentioned by Sam Walton, right? It's
Sam Walton. Walton.
Oh, Ton. Oh, then I did. Because there was one by Sam Walton, which is Province: The Art of Living.
No, this is Sam Walton.
That's okay. I thought I would be smart by looking it up. Clearly, I failed at that. Who knew that there's a Sam Walton who published a book as well? What was the second thing the second thing I was going to mention was you hit it. The fifth ball in the air that I was saying that you juggle is relationship.
Made in America. Boom.
Made in America. There you go.
Made in America.
I think did they have a documentary about that too?
Probably, because he's actually going to be the first ever businessman to create $1 trillion enterprise. He's dead now, but it's a great read. It's one of the best reads ever if you just want a story of it's he's just like he's a good guy, and he just like kept hitting on the principles, and like his whole mission, going back to mission, was to make living a good life more affordable for people.
Right.
And that's how, he did that through scale, and he was able to undercut pricing and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going though.
And I mean, he certainly succeeded at that mission. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I think of Walmart, I think of discount. So yeah, good on him for succeeding at that mission. I'm pretty sure there's a documentary on Netflix called Made in America. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Made in America.
Made in America.
It might be.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that one or not, if it's related to that, but I keep seeing it, and then I'm Canadian. I apologize to the Americans, but I see something like Made in America, and the first thing I think of is like American propaganda, and I just don't want to watch it. Right? It's like, oh God. If it's story, if it's his story, and it outlines, because I love watching business documentaries. I don't know, have I mentioned I'm Fine, Thanks yet as a documentary on this podcast?
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Made by a dude who just sort of, his life goal was to create a movie, and he'd never done it. And it's sort of his, mission of how he created this documentary. Finally, it was very meta. The documentary was about him not creating a documentary. But it's very cool. I think Pat Flynn was in it because he was a backer for it. One of the producers was a famous dude also in the blogosphere. I forget if it was like Corbett Barr or one of those. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Great movie. You can get it. It's like $5 or something like that. You go to I'm Fine Thanks or imfinemovie.com or something. It's like $5. You just download it. You get the MP4 file, and you can watch it right away. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I love business documentaries, so I'll have to check that out. So I think that's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good coverage that we've done so far. And I think if there's one thing that I've taken from this conversation, it's that I suppose it is possible to have a business that can grow beyond the ceiling that I was talking about with respect to lifestyle business, but still maintain a level of happiness and a level of healthy lifestyle, if you will, while you're building this sort of enterprise or empire of a business. I suppose that is true, and I think that takes work. And I think maybe that's why some of the people I'm thinking of in my head, maybe they are just not putting that work in to have that proper pursuit and that balance, if you will. Balance is a bad word to use. But to keep all those correct balls in the air and not drop them. I think it takes work to achieve that, and you need to set up processes and systems, like you said with was it Mark Cuban with 15 minutes of phone calls a day or something like that?
That was Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, sorry. I'm getting my billionaires mixed up. So Richard Branson with the 15 minutes a day phone call type of thing. I think that's brilliant, for the lack of a word. I absolutely love that, and I think that speaks to his character. That he has built that into his business. I think that's fantastic. Plus, that might even, I'm sure there's some bit of it helping his business too. So it might have started as something that was put in place as a hindrance to say, go away, I want to have more time with my family, but it might have made things more efficient. Now I don't know if they've learned any lessons from it, but
he's doing better than he was 10 years ago. So
there you go. So whether or not it can be drawn or traced back to that one piece of system or technology of the 15 minutes a day, I don't know.
And I think you hit on a great point too. Look at us complimenting each other and just. But going back to having a mission, and you can still have a mission, and you can still work towards building something great and all, even if you want that lifestyle of only working a couple hours a week. That's something that it never even really crossed my mind. I guess it just assumed that's, hey, you gotta put in the time and the effort and everything to get to that level. But yeah, man,
it's possible. And I think if you want to get to that point, if you want to scale your business, I guess, infinitely and be, one of the richest people in the world and make millions of dollars and stuff like that per day or something, then, you just need to hire people that are much smarter than you. I think that's all you need to do. You need to scale the business up to the point where you can afford to hire people who are much smarter than you, and hand off the reins to them.
Yeah,
right.
That's like my mentor. The guy's a billionaire, and he says, he's like, you just hire people smarter than you. He makes it sound like it's so easy. So as soon as I understand that more,
and I think the that is only made possible through this quote unquote system that we're in that I don't like. So it's a funny little, I don't know what the word is for that. It's kind of ironic. This system of go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a job, have 2.5 kids, get married, whatever. That formula that's laid out is something that I think is so restrictive and something that really needs to be abolished. But then again, if it was abolished and if everyone was an entrepreneur, then we wouldn't be able to hire people smarter than us and keep them in the job, working for us, if you will. I prefer the term with us.
Yeah. And I think
it wouldn't happen. Yeah.
Well, and I think to your point, I think something really cool that you're seeing now is the trend, and obviously you point to technology companies kind of leading the front. You look at like Uber and Google and stuff, and Facebook, and how much they take care of their team members, because it's not so much about just fulfilling a position anymore. It's about being a part of a team, moving the ball forward on the greater good, and they incorporate that lifestyle management. I mean, you see things like 4-day work weeks during the summer. Who is it that does that? Basecamp, or
I don't know.
9 Signals, whatever that company is.
Well, no, hold on. Is that 4 work days a week? But that means that you need to work 9.5 hours a day?
No. During the summer, they cut it down to actually 4 days a week.
So instead of a 40-hour work week, you're working a 32-hour work week?
Yeah.
All right,
but then you look at Zappos, who everyone has access to a life coach, and they check in, every few weeks to make sure that their goals outside of work they're climbing that ladder, getting to that. so I think the trend that we're seeing, and I think that the companies that are going to thrive are the ones that are creating that balance that you spoke of early on. That's so important. That's, like if that means being with your family, if a team member says like, my number one priority, I want to spend X amount of hours with my family per a week. Like now the attitude is, okay, how can we give that to that person? If your team member wants to travel, like how can you make that possible and still help them do everything they can to just be awesome in their job? And I guess just tying it all in, what frustrates me so much when I hear people talk about lifestyle business is the end goal is always, I want to travel and sit on the beach and not have to worry about anything. You know what I mean? And it's like, at the end of the day, I don't know why that frustrates me so much, but I think it's because what I hear is the lack of mission, like going back to your mission and stuff. Like if that is their goal and that's what they want to do, and they're going to do it all while, I don't know, creating safer automobiles or something crazy, then by all means go for it. But yeah, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah, because I think what you're getting at is procrastination and essentially boredom. If you've ever tried to sit on a beach for 2 weeks straight, sipping Mai Tais, that kind of thing, without having a mission or without doing anything other than sitting on the beach doing nothing, that I'm sure that gets old quick.
Yeah,
right? I'm sure it gets old quick.
Well, it's just like aspire to be more. You know what I mean? Like like create greatness. Like do something awesome.
So I think that's it. I think that is the golden. That's the target that we should all be aiming for. Okay, we don't have to aim for a lifestyle business where we max out at 10 times our salary. Fair enough. I will tip my hat to that. But I think we should aim towards building a life where we are happy, where our family is happy, and where the people we are impacting are also happy that we exist.
Mm-hmm.
If there is the circle, this everyone dancing rainbows and ponies and all that good stuff, if that's all happening and that's all the cheese is going on there, then that's fantastic. I think it's very idealistic to shoot for, but the closest you can get to it, the better. I think that's the ideal place to go towards. And if that means that you're making 10 times your salary or 1,000 times your salary or 1,000,000 times your salary, whatever that might be, then fair enough, so be it. But I think that if you're getting to the point, I guess where I was reacting negatively to the endless pursuit of profit, is what are you going to do with $100 billion? And if you are going to sit on $100 billion and do nothing with it, then that's where I have a problem. But if you're going to sit on $100 billion and give it away to people who need it, charities, to solving a worldwide problem,
like Bill Gates
exactly. That's the first thing that came to my mind. What's his pursuit is
polio, maybe.
Yeah, polio. I was gonna say malaria, but no, polio.
Well, malaria is another one.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and they look at those big goals, and I just finished T. Boone Pickens' biography, and his whole goal is to further education, and this guy's giving close to $1 billion to Oklahoma State University and Texas and all these others, because he thinks education is so important, and he did it. He's given away more than he actually has right now. So he hasn't even waited until he's passed. You know how so many people are like, yeah, when I pass, I sign the giving pledge with Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, and I give all that away. No, he's giving it away now. And I think that's the cool part. Once you get to that level where, you're looking at 9 digits in your bank account or your net worth, you pinpoint a problem, you're like, nah, we're going to take care of that before I die. That is cool. That is really cool.
Then that I will tip my hat to and say, fair enough. I would love to live a lifestyle like that, because I suppose the more money you make, the more impact you can have in a positive way. And as long as you're shooting for that, then I think that's beautiful. That's a beautiful place to be. So fantastic. I think that's a great way to wrap things up. What about you?
Yeah, man, that was fun. We should have more. We'll have to rack our brains on other things that we are across the aisle on, so we can do this more. That's a lot of fun.
For sure. So as always, you can check out more of what Carter's doing at mcarterjohnson.com, or you can flip on over to, or at the same time, perhaps open up in a new browser tab. You can go to coderstartup.com/27 to see the show notes for this page. We'll have any links to the book. I think we only really mentioned one book, or maybe the show notes will include all the books that Carter mentioned. We'll see if we can find them, and all the people that he referenced, and hopefully the documentary I referenced as well, the I'm Fine Thanks. In any case, all that will be linked up in the show notes, so you can check it out, coderstartup.com/27. And as always, if you are pursuing your happiness and your lifestyle business or more, fair enough, and you want to sort of get some tips and tricks and hints and have someone that can hold you accountable, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I'm obviously still offering my services to fill up the 3 spots that I have for coaching. So you can head over to coderstartup.com/coaching to book your first coaching call with me. That one's free. I just basically go over your business and see where the holes are, where you can tidy it up, where you can fix any holes and leaks in your email generation or lead generation process.
That's such a resource. That's such a shortcut. If you can find anyone who can help you with tactical stuff or just talk it over. So you helped me earlier this week with it. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my gosh, why isn't this working? Trevor was like, let's take a look at it, and something that it was so obvious to me. And Trevor was like, well, you just got to change this, and this up, and boom. But yes, definitely take Trevor up on his offer there.
And the reason why, so I wasn't saying before that I was going to do this because I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, because it's a lot of work to do that kind of thing. I mean, I have sometimes there's over an hour I do these conversations for. So, but truly, I realize that I like to do these. Honestly, truly, I just like to do it. I like to see what other people are doing in their business. I love to give my opinions and hopefully help them out, so I can hear the story back and say, oh my God, what you did worked. Just so I can say, that's awesome. Great. And I mean, it could be a selfish endeavor too, because then I can say, well, then, at some point now I know I could get into that market if I ever wanted to. Not to say that I would steal your business idea by any means, but, if it just means for me that I have enough business knowledge to confirm for myself that I am a big player in this entrepreneurial scene, because I would love to be. So really, it's a selfish endeavor. So yeah, I want to get your business up in front of my eyes and fixed up as best I can. And then afterwards, if you do want to continue doing these phone calls every week, then by all means we could do them. You could sign up and we can make it a partnership. And otherwise, no hard feelings. You can go the opposite direction. And I wish you the very best. But I ask you to keep in touch and let me know how it goes. So yeah, if you're interested in that, coderstartup.com/coaching. And that's it. That's a wrap for the show. So thanks everyone for listening. Awesome. This has been episode number 27. I have been Trevor Page. Boom.
Carter Johnson signing off.
Peace.